Mitch Oscar MPG, Executive Vice President, Innovations.
So Mitch, it was great because I got the pleasure of learning sort of what you do and where you are on the panel today. Tell me a little bit about your point of view as to where television is the next 12 months and where the big change points are going to be.
Okay, so television will be as it is for the next 12 months. That's one. Secondly, they'll be integrating more broadband video and selling it. So when advertisers first started working with whatever a broadband video was, they were linear extensions. So it was easy to say ABC, abc.com. Now we're going to start to get in VOD. And then I think with Nielsen's OCR and the upfront deals that are happening, now they're adding that to it. And then they'll be looking at TV everywhere for authentication and authorization and to get even more impressions. So I think they'll just keep on adding and adding a lot of third-party data.
So what do you think the lifeline of the upfronts is? How long do you think TV is going to continue to be bought and sold as it is? We say our 12 months it's going to be the same, but where do you see it actually, where do you see the change point being that it's no longer bought and sold in sort of the second quarter of the year and it's more of an always-on media planning process?
I don't.
Okay.
My sense with it, I stopped going to upfronts 10 years ago because it was just bringing out the stars. The last one I went to, ABC had Disney had the talent of, what's the Lion King.
Okay.
Actually danced during the upfront at the theater. So I don't think it ever taught us anything. It was an excuse to go out. Now no one wants to go out anymore. I don't think there should be upfronts. So let me give you a joke about that. Indians. A tribe of Indians hire back someone from college who's the Indian tribe, and they make him the head of weather and the shaman. And they go to him and they say, is there going to be a cold season? What should we do? Should we gather wood? And he says, let me think about it. He calls up the weather service. The weather service says it's going to be cold. He goes back, he tells his people. The people then say, okay, good. A month later they say, do you think we should have more wood? He says, let me see. He calls up the weather service and says, yes, it's going to be cold, and he tells the Indians. This goes on a few times. At the end of it, he's wondering, now that the Indians have saved all this wood, would it really be cold, and how does the weather people really know this? And he said, because the Indians are gathering wood.
All right.
So that's what our upfront is about, because everyone goes out there. Now, one of my early bosses, a guy named Larry Freed, was running news at ABC, and he figured the marketplace was at X. He sent out all his people to say, what will the marketplace be? And everyone came out with 15 plus X in terms of dollars in the marketplace. So he raised his rates, and he got them. So as long as we do upfronts, agencies have to say they spend more money. If they claim to spend less, they don't have the power. So this is going to go on for a long time.
Right. So do you think that when we talk about kind of more integration of broadband video, do you believe that video will start to be actual currency used in make goods if primetime television continues to fall short season over season?
I don't think one has to do with the other. I think that there's going to be impressions in the upfront, and the impressions will go across both. It won't just be used as a negative kind of concept. I mean, let's jump to remnant inventory. What's remnant inventory if prime time is when I want to watch television, whether it's 2 in the morning, which is overnight news, or prime time if you're looking for me? So those concepts have to change. So you get companies like Simulmedia, Google didn't make it, Microsoft didn't make it. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think an impression, Gertrude Stein said an impression is an impression is an impression.
Right. So how is your day-to-day business changing, and will it change? I know you don't think the TV industry is going to change per se how it is, but how are you going to do business differently to be more equipped and informed, and specifically sort of to have more data and inputs to make more informed decisions?
Me personally?
Yeah.
So by running the Collaborative Alliance, which we do, we meet quarterly, it's for free, we have people come and speak to our group of 300 people, 400 people. We allow them to do presentations to help inform the group, not for the aha, but that's interesting. So let me give you an example on set-top box data. We began this about 4 years ago, got the different set-top box companies together, TiVo, Rentrack, AT&T, and we said, all right, what are the top 10 shows? And everyone more or less agreed on what the top 10 shows are. And said, well, what are the ratings? And that's where we had a little bit of a disagreement, but we showed to the community what are the possibilities, because everyone thinks they know, but no one can afford the technology or the data.
Right.
So the more we can do that at MPG with the Collaborative Alliance, the better it will be served for the community. For me, I have to go and meet with everyone and find out, what does it mean? What are you talking about? Because social TV is an excellent example. No one has any idea based on the currency now, because it's not about volume of conversation. It's about how did it really affect anything. So I have to then kind of bridge the two and speak in pragmatics and then see if we can translate it for the public. That's what I have to do.
Thank you, Mitch. It was great talking to you.
Okay, thank you.